now listening to the 11:30 podcast. Enjoy the show.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 11:30 podcast, Dre and Willsy is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. No, with me, yeah. I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 11:30 podcast.
What do you do, everybody? It's your man Drake, aka Drake on Wheels. I'm back at it again, man, with another episode. Welcome everyone to the 11:30 podcast. What's good, everybody doing out there? Appreciate everyone tuning back in to the podcast show. You know what time it is. It's not 7:30, it's 11:30. Got an awesome guest, an awesome show for you guys this week on the podcast show. Before we dive into that, if you're new and you haven't done so already, definitely hit that subscribe button down below, like, leave a comment, and share it. And don't forget to follow the 11:30 podcast on all social media platforms. Now that's out the way, you guys. Like I said, I have an awesome guest, you guys. Emmy award-winning writer, entrepreneur, author, you guys. Richard Wilson is going to be joining me here on the 11:30 podcast show. This week we're going to be talking about his amazing books, Halloween Girl, and more on how he became an awesome author, an Emmy award-winning author, writer. All that and more, man. We ain't gonna waste no more time. We're gonna bring on my awesome guest, Richard.
Hey, Dre, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, doing
Good.
well, man. How about yourself?
Great. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for taking the invite, man. For coming through here on the 11:30 podcast. I like treating you. This is gonna be fun.
Life is good. I'm kind of really getting into this next stage of my life with the writing, and it's like I'm enjoying all of this more. Last year was kind of exciting for the first time, but it was like new, and now it's just like I get to talk, just kind of get to hang out with you guys, and I'm not as wide-eyed and worried about everything. I'm just enjoying meeting people like yourself and just kind of chatting away, man, having a good time.
Hey, that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Once again, appreciate you for coming through on the podcast. But for my listeners and viewers, I like to have my guests tell everyone about yourself.
Well, I spent most of my life as a filmmaker. I had a company called Outreach Arts. We did a lot of educational films for teenagers, things to do with mental health issues primarily. And we worked with a lot of at-risk populations and things like that. I really wanted to reach out to kids who people kind of forgot about it, or they would send a one-size-fits-all for a problem. I hated that. God, I hated that. I mean, I grew up as a kid who was kind of an at-risk kid myself. And I just, so I wanted to make a difference in that way. And we did. We worked with a lot of nonprofits all over the country for years, making films. And I had a series that I started myself in-house called Maple Ave. And that wound up the same kind of thing, all about teen suicide, this, that, and it was a regular series of films that were interconnected with the characters. And we won an Emmy, several Emmy nominations for the regional broadcasts on PBS, which was like amazing. I mean, I was just like, oh man, that's like a dream come true. But that's how I spent most of my life. What happened was I basically doing that kind of work. I mean, I'm interviewing real kids with real problems year in and year out. It really got to me. So a few years back, it was starting to really rip me up. I mean, I used to spend like 3 days after I talked to the kids about, they were telling me some of this stuff they hadn't told anybody, because I was just kind of like the faceless guy, and it's like, they were like, yeah, I was raped. Yeah, I was this. I was, yeah, this happened to me. Yeah, I almost killed myself. I mean, and I'd walk around for I'd have to report stuff, certainly, but I would walk around for like 3 days with my head in a sling, but that's how I had to do it, to make sure I was really telling their story. I wasn't interested in doing this kind of from a distance, you know what I mean? Like, oh yes, we just help people. I really wanted to help. So, but it took a lot out of me. So I had to kind of walk away. And as I was walking away, making the transition, my parents were passing away. And I decided I needed to do something that was just for me. And that's how the Halloween Girl got started. We made a film called The Halloween Girl to kind of work through my mom's passing, because she died right after my dad. And I said to my wife, I got to do something, man. And I didn't know how else to express myself other than doing what I did. So we sat down, figured it out, put together the film. The film did really well, got into film festivals, this, that, and the other. got good reviews, but then I figured that would be it, and I'd go back to my day job. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'd go, man. I couldn't let it go. It was just like I kept coming back to that character. More characters came out of that character, and then pretty soon we started a web series that was related to the Halloween Girl called Under the Flowers, and that did really well. But I can only go so far, you know.
Yeah.
We did 3 seasons of that. They did really well. Like I said, lots of film festivals. We were really blessed to get. We were really like very grateful for all the stuff that happened with that. But I couldn't go any further.
Okay. Okay.
You know, and then the pandemic hit. You know,
rough time for everyone.
So, you know, so I had to figure out a new way to do things. And during the pandemic, I started to try and kind of secretly try and teach myself how to write graphic novels, because I've always been kind of a graphic novel. I love all that crap. You know what I mean? That's just, I love it. And I thought it's going to really suck, man, if I can't write this format, you know, because, you know, I can't write a whole bunch of stuff. I can only write scripts primarily. That's what I do best. I'm not a prose writer. You're not going to catch me saying the lake is so beautiful in this shimmer. You know, it's just not my thing. Okay. So I did it. It worked because it's so much like script writing, like filmmaking and you know, screenwriting. And I was just like, oh my God. And I could do stuff that I could never do with the budgets I had, you know. I was running like a nut through a field, like you know, a kid with scissors, just having a blast, man. And so I did it, and I was really happy about that. And that's how the whole thing with the Halloween Girl graphic novel stuff started. I wrote a ton during the pandemic and started to self-publish a couple chapters here and there, and they started to do well. We put out a book last year, did really well. Got a Rondo nomination, you know. It's like Classic Horror Academy Award kind of, which was like amazing. And then you know, won a Firebird Book Award for it. So we were building, and it was great. Again, it's all very small. It's all still very, you know, in its infancy. I'm not saying, wait, we're already here. So then I was like, time for the second book. And a lot of people last time were wondering about the Halloween Girl, the character of Charlotte, and they were like, hey, what's her deal? Because I kind of jumped right in, kind of into the adventure. I like, you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm just jumping in. We're going to have some fun. And so they were like, well, what's her deal? Like, what's her origin story? You know? And so that brought me back, and I said, you know, okay, all right, fair enough. I went back to the original script for the film, and I adapted that to a graphic novel. And honestly, I thought, well, that'll be a good one. It's also short. And I said, but I also wanted to go back because I kind of wanted to kind of put Ghost to rest, because it's really about my mom, you know. And I spent a big part of the year doing that kind of stuff with a lot of the stories, putting things to rest. And it was,
okay. How was that process? Also, you know, dealing with you said both of your parents, you know, passing away, and
one right
you
after the other.
Yeah. How was that, you know, dealing with that and trying to, you know, grieve and also do what you love to do or want to do, and, you know, creating all these characters and putting together this great book, Halloween Girl.
It was really hard, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, that just like working with Outreach Arts caught up with me. And during the pandemic, it all just caved in on me. And for the first time in my life, because, you know, I thought, oh, I do stuff for I know all about mental health. Like I'm some psychologist over here, right? You know, I work in this stuff all the time. I'm cool, you know, like, 'cause I keep up on them. No, I fell apart. I completely fell apart. It all caught up with me. And I mean, I could barely get out of the house. It really grabbed me by the throat. And I don't know what the hell, I didn't even know what was happening to me. And so I paid a price for it. I guess, you know what I mean? I kept a lot inside for a long time. And then just, man, with the pandemic and everything that was happening in the world, oh my God. You know, I felt like I was in a nightmare, and everybody did. But, you know, and so I honestly, out of a lot of that, the books came, you know, and I wasn't like writing all through. I wrote when I could, but I was in, yeah, it all caught up with me. But that's just my thing. Like I'm the type of person that will run really hard and then crash. I don't pace myself, you know. I'm just not that kind of. I just burn out, you know. I just go all the way, and that's what happened. I got as far as I could go, totally ran out of road, but I learned a lot, and I'm much happier and much. I think my writing's better. I think everything about my life is better now. But it's like a whole new life. You know what I mean? Like my parents, I love them, but we didn't. I didn't get along as well with them as I wish I had, especially my dad. So there's a lot to work out. You know, I didn't have that kind of support that I wish I had as a kid. You know, so my parents had problems. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. They
Yeah,
had
yeah,
problems.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
Totally understand. Totally understand that. You said we're working with the kids and mental health, and then you also sort of had a breakdown within yourself,
Yeah.
and you just ran it. What was the first thing that came to your mind? Also, when you had that moment, but also working with these kids and helping them get through it, and you just sort of having a lot just balled up and
Well,
couldn't
part
have
of it
let it
was
out.
like it was like an exorcism for me because it kind of like got some of my stuff out through them, you know. So to me, I thought I was helping myself more than I was. Like I was shoveling more of the stuff out than I thought, but it was helping me. So it did give me breathing room, and it was such a great feeling to be helping these kids, genuinely helping. And even after I kind of was retiring from Outreach Arts, I got a gig over at an area college teaching acting for television. And so that was kind of an extension of that. I just loved helping the kids kind of do what they wanted to do, get their stuff out. You know, I thought, boy, man, wish I'd had that. And it's great to see somebody else get that opportunity because it feels like I'm watching, like I'm living vicariously through them, you know. So it wasn't all bad. It was like, oh, I love this. I walk, I'd feel I feel like $100 million, just after I finished something like that with the kids. But I just couldn't stand the fact. Again, I go back to it. The thing that I found so hard, like I just resented, was the way these groups would start up. These, oh, we're gonna help everybody. It's all one size fits all. I knew for myself, coming from where I live, man, it is not. It's a diverse population. Not everybody's got this resource. And what are you doing about follow? I don't know. I just felt like I just wanted to. I didn't want to sit on my hands, sit on my ass and not try and make it better for somebody else. So I mean, I'm proud of all the work. It was a long haul,
Yeah.
but I couldn't go back and do it. I'll put it that way.
Mhm. I,
Wow, here's somebody back there.
yes, a little. I got a little man.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he's one, and he's probably running around right
That's
now though.
great.
But in just mentioning that, you mentioned how you didn't have your dad growing up, and at least you didn't get along with him.
No, yeah.
And what would have been some things that you would have? Oh, well, the question is though. Since I'm a new dad though, and
Hmm.
what some things that you would like to pass on to children, also little boys specifically,
Yeah.
not growing up with their
Good
dad, but
point.
also wanted to have that.
I think it's about being seen, and it's not
Mm,
enough to sit there and talk. Because my dad would talk to me, but I was being kind of talked at,
mm,
and it was more about him than it was about me in some cases. Again, love him, but it just didn't, click. Um, I I think boys, you want to bond with your dad,
yeah.
and I was always desperate to do. And so we bonded through. We watch old movies, old horror movies. You know what I mean? That was our thing. But even so, I'd still try. Like he was in and out, in and out. And I think the thing of it is, you got to let your child know, your boy especially, that you see them and you got their back, and you see where they're coming from. You know what's going on, and you're right behind them. You know what I mean? They can come to you and talk to you about anything. Now, I didn't have a boy, I had a girl, but Jamie would come home. The school was actually right across the field, which is, weird. And she would come home, and my office is right in the front of the house. And she'd come in, plop herself on the couch, and we'd talk about the day. And, I wanted to hear what she was good. And you got to put that time aside. And see, the problem is we think we're going to do that, but we don't do it. Let your son know you're there, and almost make it a regular everyday. Here I am, man. What's up? How you doing? What's going on? And listen. And people don't listen. That's the problem, because they got their own things going on. But you got to really work hard to listen.
How important it is to actually listen to these young men that's
Yeah.
growing up, though, because I have a little one. I didn't grow up without my dad. I didn't grow up with my dad, and he wasn't in my life. So I make it a very big thing to make sure I'm in my son's life and talk to him and there all the way.
Well, that's the thing, because my dad didn't have a dad. My dad's dad died when he was born. He died a young man, like in his 30s, uh, and he didn't have a dad really. So some of that was, he had no clue. You know what I mean? So, but my point is, I love both my folks, but they did have issues. You know what I mean? That were unresolved. And when that kind of thing just festers and grows, it doesn't get better. It just gets worse. But um, but yeah. But I would say that, man. I mean, it's just really, don't ever take it. Don't ever take them for granted. You know what I mean? Don't ever take your kids. Just, I mean, my gosh, what a gift. I couldn't be happier. My daughter's 25, and I just, every day I'm just like so happy she's here.
Yeah,
And doing
yeah,
well. And but that's the biggest pride of my life right there. So, and that's what
yeah,
I mean. Like your son, he'll be the biggest pride of your life. When you're
yeah.
doing it right, that's how it works out.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. I get you. And then sometimes, I guess with dads and with myself, sometimes it's also the thing is, are you doing enough?
Right.
You feel like you've been that good dad and stuff like that. You always have these, uh, complicated thoughts in your head though.
Right.
But I think as long as you are just like you said, being present and being there and then making it about them, I think that's the big thing.
You,
That matters.
you go in one direction or the other. The thing, if you were lacking in something, hurts in some way, you're either going to turn around and hurt somebody else the same way, or you're going to do just the opposite. It's that simple. That's my opinion. I think, it's either one or the other. You either go to make a positive impact where there was a negative, or other people just turn around and try and justify why they were treated so crappy by being crappy to other people. I see
Mhm.
there's no middle ground. People do one or the other. And I mean, we fall down all the time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's like, oh, you're freaking Dudley Do Right you know, every day. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're trying every day. That's the difference. So, you
I
know,
got you. As long as you try every day, I think
yeah.
that's what matters, though. Definitely what
Mhm.
matters. Okay. You're right. You're right. We're gonna move on here on the podcast show. Richard, man, you got two books out. Halloween Girl, award-winning author. Did you see all of this for yourself as a young guy? Obviously, life take you in so many different directions, though. But how did you see this all playing out for you?
I mean, I hoped when I was a little kid, man, that's what I wanted. I wanted to make horror movies. I mean, that's, man, my gosh. Grew up reading Famous Monsters magazine as a little kid. I just saw the publisher, who's almost 100 this past weekend at a Famous Monsters horror convention. They've been around for 65 years. He's almost 100 years old. And I used to dream about doing that stuff. And I'd have a little Super 8 camera that my dad would lend me, try and make, little movies in the backyard with the kids. And
Yeah.
I loved it all. But I loved to tell stories, and I didn't care after a while how I told the stories. I just needed to find ways. I was in rock bands. I was on anything that was going to allow me to tell stories, writing short stories. Did theater actually for a while. Met my wife in the
Hmm.
theater, and I got into theater because of rock music or whatever, and Bowie and the Doors. And I thought, man, what can you do here? I didn't care. I just wanted to go tell stories as an actor or writer, whatever. And so I kind of, along the way, you forget you forget the little kid who wanted to make monster movies. Of course, that's how I wound up as an old man, back to making monster movies, or writing about it. And I never thought I would be this lucky, this fortunate to be doing this. I mean, I'm doing stuff that had a big impact on me in a way that I didn't even realize the extent until you kind of open that Pandora's. I don't want to say Pandora's box. That's negative, but you open the door to it. and you're like, oh my God, this stuff was sitting in the back of my mind my whole life. It was informing you in ways that you didn't even realize. And no, I never thought, no, I never thought I'd be this fortunate in many ways. Never.
Hey,
It's a hard gig, man. You know, you're an artist. It's a hard gig. And
yeah.
so you don't figure on anything working out great. You're just there because you love it. You're passionate. You got to do it.
Okay, I dig it. I definitely dig it though. You mentioned horror movies, and it's Halloween time. It's
Yeah, man.
October. So, what was some of your favorite Halloween movies, and what you think about
Oh,
today's horror movies? Some of them maybe not as scary as much though, but I'm a big horror movie fan to
cool.
say the least. So I
Well,
love it.
I like stuff from all the different eras, but you know, I like classic horror a lot. I love like Pride of Frankenstein is one of my favorite films because it's funny. You know, I love something that can scare you and make you laugh at the same time, like on purpose. There was it's not because it's an old movie. It's actually supposed to be funny. So that one I love to death. I think that's one of the best. But I like a lot of psychological horror films. There's a movie from the early '60s, Deborah Carr, black and white. I think it came out in '62, called The Innocents. That is an excellent film. It's based on the classic novel, The Turn of the Screw, and man, that is a psychological horror story right there. That's something that I recommend everybody who wants to really be creeped the hell out. Look it up. That's a great movie. And of course, I love Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween, different parts of that or whatever And I like I like what they did when they brought it back. I know it was kind of mixed reviews, but I liked a lot of it. So, but I like things in small towns. I like small American towns where there's something, some secret. You know what I mean? Some horrible thing's going to happen. You know what I mean? I like
No, yeah,
simple stories like that, like where everybody's guessing. You know
yes.
what's going on, like So I mean, I just love so much. It would take forever. But
Okay.
there's some cool like films that are not as popular, like Let's Scare Jessica to Death is one from 1971. It was a drive-in movie. That's pretty
Okay.
creepy. That's one to check out. That's a very creepy flick. So that scared the hell out of me. So The Exorcist scares me more than anything. It
Oh,
scares
okay.
me more than anything.
I
I
got
can
you.
barely watch it. It scares the hell. It scares me to death.
I like scary movies like that, just being on the edge of your seat and just having
Ah,
you like guessing and thinking or some
yeah,
mystery or something. So I
yeah.
definitely dig it. Those are one of my favorite movies, though. Well, being in the industry for so long, with some things or who with someone that you would like to collaborate with or work with, whether it's a book or a film, as far as horror movies.
Well, I got really lucky in that there's an indie artist, and she's actually a singer songwriter named Charlotte Martin, who just does the best stuff. And long story short, we kind of got to be friendly, and she did a song for the book last year to kind of promote it. I would love to make a music video for her because I think now that we've gotten to be friends, which is still weird to even say, because I followed her for years. She said, I'd love to do like that. That's something I could see. I got something I could see happening. I'll put it that way. But as far as like working with people, gosh, most of the people I want to work with are dead. But except for Martin Scorsese. I don't know. I don't really think about. I don't really think about that stuff. I just admire people so much. I never kind of like. I admire just all kinds of filmmakers and TV shows. Like Stranger Things and all that. I love that.
Okay.
I think I'd fit in on a show like that, or what I used to like also, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. That was a fun show. It was also funny. It also had some good humor in it too. Shows like that are kind of like that's where they're like the Halloween Girl.
Okay.
That's the vibe, like the kids and it's an adventure and their friends and what's going to happen, So
Okay.
that's kind of where I sit mostly.
Okay, got you. Though you just spoke on Halloween Girl, your latest book's out, and you also have a film out as well. For my listeners and viewers who want to check it out and also grab a copy of the book or get a new
Sure.
copy of the new ones, can you tell them where they can find
Yeah,
that?
if you want to get an autographed copy, we sell for the same price at rtwfilms.com. Other than that, you can get it anywhere. You just say you can order it from your local comic shop. You could order it from Amazon or Barnes and Noble or whatever. But if you want to get an autographed copy, come to rtwfilms.com and we'll get you the second the second book out. Excuse me, allergies. Anyway, so that's but you can get them. You can order them anywhere. The two Halloween Girl Book 1 is called Halloween Girl Book 1 Promises to Keep. The second book is called Dead Reckoning. So but just look Halloween Girl Richard Wilson and you'll find them.
Hey, you got it. You guys, you heard it right here from Richard. The links will be down below. You definitely want to pick up a copy. Make sure you definitely pick up a copy. And what keeps you motivated after all these years of being in the field of making movies and TV, making movies and books and stuff?
You know what's funny, Dre? I would have. I don't, because I feel like as you get older, especially when you get my age, you realize you're always a different person. It's not even like you look back and say, oh, I look back at the kid who was doing like theater, for instance, or some of my early films. I don't know who he is. I kind of have a sense of who he is, but you're like shedding skin all the time and becoming a different person. So it always feels new. You know what I mean? Like it never feels like, oh yeah, I did all this stuff. Like I have a real problem with that. It's like I've always like put up, if there were newspaper articles and things, hey, we had we're really proud of this project or whatever. I put them up in my office or whatever. But I put them up not to just brag about it because I'm the only one that sees it, to remember and root myself. Like you've been alive and you've done these things, but I don't sit back and say, oh man, I did this. I feel like there are a whole bunch of different guys all doing this, and the farther away you get from that 25-year-old, you're like, well, who was I? What did I do? How did I do that?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that now, but I also couldn't do then what I can do. You know what I mean? It's like you're like 5 different people.
Yeah.
So it never feels old.
I got you, man. It seems like an awesome journey that you've been on, man, doing these wonderful things that you love to do, man. Being an Emmy Award writer, entrepreneur, author, man. I think that is amazing. Like I said, everyone, the links will be down below, so you can definitely go pick up Halloween Girl 1 and 2. The books are available right now. But Richard, I appreciate you for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show. It was really awesome having you on. Before you go, any questions, any shout outs, anything you'd like to say?
No, just just basically, hey, believe in yourself. Whoever you are, whatever you're doing, don't give up on yourself. And that's the message I keep trying to pump, no matter what I'm doing. Don't ever give up on yourself.
I like that. Did you have any issues believing in yourself growing up?
Believing in myself, yeah, I did. But I reached a point where it was like, you're either going to believe in yourself. If you expect other people to believe and you think you're worth it and you're pissed off at the way you're treated, then you better be your own advocate and fight for yourself. And I kind of split you in half in a way, because you create a fighter like it's a video game. And I fought my way through. I thought, no, I'm worth it, man. I'm not the king of the freaking hill, but I'm not the dirt on your shoe either. And don't treat me like that. And that's it. And I just, I felt like if I didn't believe strongly in myself, and I always believed in a higher power too. So as a little kid, I could always feel like there's more to this life than this.
Yeah.
There's way more than that. And I just plugged into that. And kind of
I dig
punched
it.
my way, sometimes literally. So, so yeah, but gotta believe in yourself.
There's always some. Yes, I dig it. Gotta believe in yourself, man. That's why I believe in yourself, man. Can't really have so much hope in someone else believing in you. So I think it's first, though. But Richard, thank you once again for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show. Awesome to have you on. Social media links will down below, and like I said, the books, so my listeners can definitely pick a copy. Once again, this was awesome. For everyone who's listening and watching, sit tight. Anytime.
Thank you.
We go Everyone who's listening, sit tight. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back and wrap up the show. You're listening and you're watching to the 11:30 podcast.
Yes, that's right. New merch. Yes, new merch is available now. Head over to bonfire.com/the 1130 podcast to place your order. I have t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, hats, you name it. Everything you want from the 1130 podcast is right here in one place. So head over to bonfire.com/the 1130 podcast to pick you up some monumental gear ahead of the new season of the 1130 podcast. Go get you some now.
TV is more than cable for less than cable. More unexpected plot twists. Less unexpected fees. More committing to new shows. Less committing to an annual contract. More being held in suspense. Less being held on hold. More modern, more simple, more than cable for less than cable. Try YouTube TV for free.
People, what's good? What's happening? What's going on? Yo, it's me, Brian B. That's right, and I'm telling you guys to head on over to YouTube today and make sure you subscribe to the Beeline Entertainment LLC. Check us out. We all over the place.
Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Coffee Weaston.
This your boy DOE, Good Brother Bowl.
And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man, you tuning in to 1130 podcast. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
Yo, I'm back here on the 11:30 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the break. Yo, shout out to my guest, Richard Wilson, Emmy award-winning writer and author. He's the author of Halloween Girl comic book. Yo, shout you out, my guy. Thank you for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show this week. Great time having you on. I apologize for the audio issues, though. I was asking Richard Wilson, do you have trouble believing in yourself, and or the importance actually believing in yourself? And it all starts definitely with believing in yourself, man. If you don't believe in yourself, man, you can't really count on too many other people that will. But you gotta believe in yourself, especially if other people definitely believe in you. But you guys, man, great show. It's Halloween, man. It's Halloween. I know all the kids. My little man, he about to have some candy though. He about to have some candy later on tonight though. But Halloween is here. I hope everyone is enjoying their Halloween. Happy Halloween, man. I remember when I was little, and Halloween, man. Halloween was definitely a day that, as you're a little kid, you look forward to. You dress up as your favorite superhero, or you dress up as your favorite cartoon character, or whatever the case was, man. I remember when I was a pirate when I was little. I don't have no photos, you guys, of it. At least not at the moment. I used to dress up as a pirate. I remember having the earring. I was a Power Ranger. I don't know who wasn't a Power Ranger though, but Halloween definitely was it, man. When I was little, my little man was a burrito last year for Halloween. This year for Halloween, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he really he wasn't feeling it last year. So maybe next year he gonna dive all into it. I know my sisters and stuff. They definitely did their thing with their kids for Halloween and stuff. So, like I said, man, I hope everyone enjoyed their Halloween, man. Be safe out there trick or treating. The weather is going to be all right here in DC, though. Trick or treating. So, hey, some places I know it is freezing out there, man. Definitely, it is freezing. But man, now that's out the way, you guys. Like I said, enjoy your Halloween. I appreciate everyone once again tuning in on this special Halloween edition of the 11:30 podcast show. No episode tomorrow on Wednesday. I will return in the normal time slot, normal scheduled timing next week, the 11:30 podcast, 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday, you guys. Also, this coming week, you guys, a new episode of Talk Pro Wrestling this Friday, 6:15 p.m., 5:15 Central, and also a live episode of Talk Pro Wrestling following WWE Crown Jewel. I'm probably gonna have a panel on, get all the some people together, man, and give all our thoughts on what happened uh, at WWE Crown Jewel. But other than that, you guys, man, before I head on out and wrap it up, you guys, man, it's time, you guys, for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes, WTF moment of the week, man. It's two. I got two WTF moments of the week, man. First WTF moment, man. Real crazy situation that happened over the weekend, and it was involving a hockey in.
Well, as you mentioned, overnight, the hockey community here in Minnesota and around the world is reeling. Hibbing, Minnesota native Adam Johnson has died after a freak accident on the ice. He was playing with his professional team, the Nottingham Panthers, in Sheffield, England last night, and multiple reports say during a collision, another player's skate cut Johnson's neck during the game. Now, prior to his passing, University of Minnesota Duluth men's hockey team sharing this photo of Johnson from his days playing 2 seasons with their team. And in a statement from Nottingham, the team says in part, Adam, our number 47, was not only an outstanding ice hockey player, but also a great teammate and an incredible person with his whole life ahead of him. The club will dearly miss him and will never forget him. Johnson was 29 years old.
Feet supposed to stay on the floor, on the ice, right? But man, like it didn't go well for this former NHL player. Man, like free accident. He had his neck slashed when one of the guys, um, blades got caught in his throat, slashed his throat. Man, like, yo, I was like, wow, are you serious? Like, are you serious, man? Come on. I mean, I know a lot of sports are dangerous, but if that is one thing, man. I think that you should keep your blades on the ice, man. Like, WTF? Like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But you guys, man, I got another WTF moment, man. It's crazy though. I just, man, watched the video and I just saw his name and I can't think of the name, but I'm gonna show you guys the video and give you guys thoughts on it though. But former basketball player, you guys, I think a former basketball player. His wife, he found out his wife started a OnlyFans account, you guys. He didn't know, and in the video, she was like, "My body, my situation. I can do what I want and whatever like that." And I'm gonna show you guys the video, but my opinion first. And I talked about this um before, even with the guys when the Sierra situation happened. Kiki Palmer, I think, with Usher or whatnot. But I think it's so wild, man. I mean, like your body, your choice, all that. Yeah, that's totally fine. But I think if you're in a relationship, I think you gotta have some type of respect for the one that you're with, your spouse or whatever. And OnlyFans, if you ain't up there just showing feet and doing some fetishes, I mean, fetishes could lead to something else though. But come on though, come on though. I mean, like I think you should have brought it to his attention. He probably would have been on board with it. These ladies are making, buku money on OnlyFans. You feel me? Like, so, I mean, I don't know if they're married or not, but that's my wife. I don't want my wife online showing her ass and tits, for everybody else, and she getting paid. And I don't know about it, but check this out.
Wait, no. But you're not gonna say fuck me or that's fucked up. It's not fucked up.
Recording me? What the fuck you doing?
Listen, it's not fucked up, and we're going to. Okay, look. So I have an OnlyFans page, and he's mad because he's just now finding out about it.
Of course I'm mad I'm just finding out about it.
I'm not doing it with anybody but myself, so why should I have to tell you my choice, my body, my fucking choice?
I'm your partner, you're supposed to come to me and talk to me.
Joe, I've been talking to you about mad things. I've been asking for solutions to shit. You're not giving me none, so I created one.
That's no solution. Not in my book. That's no solution.
You knew who the fuck I was when you met me.
Before,
I
knew that.
Thought that I would never have to go back to anything like this again.
Beforehand,
but
not,
unfortunately,
no.
that's not the case
after
now.
After that, everything's supposed to change.
Everything did change.
No. Obviously it hasn't.
No, it had to. I had to do something.
It hasn't. You stood out there showing your body. You stood out there doing stuff like this on camera.
You act like that's the only thing that I do. I have mad jobs, but they're not facilitating everything that needs to be done. So I got something extra. OnlyFans be breaking.
Man. WTF all the way, man. WTF all the way, man. That's crazy. That's definitely crazy, man. I got to get you guys' thoughts on it, man. Leave your comments down below. This has been a great show. Once again, shout out to Richard Wilson, Emmy Award-winning writer and author of Halloween Girl. The links will be down below, so make sure you go grab a copy, man. For real. Man, great episode. Happy Halloween to everyone. Before I roll on out of here, you guys, man, don't forget to follow the 1130 Podcast on all social media platforms. Follow me on X at the 1130 Podcast, to TikTok at the 1130 Podcast. Follow me on, man, there's always some background distractions trying to throw me off, man. On Instagram at the 1130 Podcast. _like the 1130 Podcast on Facebook, you guys. And man, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you haven't done so this entire great episode, hit that subscribe button down below, like it, leave a comment, man, share it, for real, man. But until next time, man, I'm about to head on out of here and enjoy Halloween, man, and just enjoy the rest of my day, and I hope you all do as well. But until next time, you guys, it's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Stay safe, stay blessed, give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? Yo, I'm out.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 Podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one.